There are three main parts to this chapter: the normal distribution, correlation, and the chi-squared test. Our last topic today is the chi-squared test, and this rounds out the chapter nicely. Normal distribution is interesting for studying a single data set, a single variable, and many, not all, but many variables follow a normal distribution. Correlation and regression analysis can be used if we've got two variables or two data sets and we want to see if there is some connection between them, if they are related in some way. But at least one of those has to be continuous data. If our two variables are both counts, just how many, then we have discrete data, and this is when we use the chi-squared test instead of correlation to see if there's a connection between the two variables. It's quite straightforward, even quite fun to do by hand, but your calculator will do it very quickly for you. If you want to use either correlation or the chi-squared in your project, you should be able to, you need to be able to explain the steps in your write-up, and so it's good to be able to do it by hand. If you're not putting it in your project for exam purposes, just being able to get the answer from your graphics calculator is quite enough. There is one new idea that comes up in the chi-squared test. It's called the degrees of freedom. This is not something you'll be tested on or asked to explain. I just raise it here just so you've heard about it and know not to worry about it, basically. It's quite a technical thing to do with how many variables we are free to change in calculating the chi-squared value. There's a simple formula for working out the degrees of freedom in any experiment. As long as you can use that, then that's quite enough. And just a final word so you can start looking and doing some of the problems in the textbook. To see how to use your graphic calculator for normal distributions and the problems going either way, the normal problem or the inverse normal problem, for doing correlation analysis to get your correlation coefficient, or for doing chi-squared test, you need to look at the calculator section on the CD. That's the CD that came with your textbook. It's got a section there specifically for using the TI-84 Plus to do the types of problems in the book. It's a really good section. If you read that, you will have no more problems. Using your calculator will be fun and easy, and you'll be able to do any of these problems here.